The I-Team, the number of homemade weapons turning up at crime scenes is exploding, from using kits online to printers. The Supreme Court is looking into whether America needs more regulations on them.
As the Second Amendment butts up against the new tech weapons, our national investigative team found gaps in tracking. Take a look here. Here in Baton Rouge, officials tell us they don't track them at all, but in New Orleans, they've seen nearly 100 of them off of the streets just within the last few years. You can see the numbers start to explode. Our investigative reporter, Chris Nakamoto, is here with the grief of one father who lost a child to a so-called ghost gun. Chris.
Good evening, Greg and Liz. His grief is palpable, especially because ghost guns can be made with ease with the simple click of a mouse. Tonight, one father is pushing for change.
Of a New Orleans high school student who was killed in January by accidental discharge has been sentenced to 3 years probation and around $5,500 in restitution paid to the family. 15-year-old Kennedy Belton was a freshman at Warren Easton High School. On January 29th, Belton was at a friend's house in New Orleans East. 19-year-old Andre Skinner was in the adjoining room tinkering with a gun.
Tell me about your daughter.
She was beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit, beautiful person.
Thomas Belton's pride is palpable, his grief discernible, as he now refers to his 15-year-old daughter, Kennedy Belton, in the past tense. Heartache and questions linger. It was January 29th, 2023, when Kennedy went to a friend's house in New Orleans. She never came home. Belton gets uneasy thinking about the phone call from Kennedy's mom that changed his life forever.
Do you remember what she said?
She was crying over the phone, and she said Kennedy was killed at a sleepover.
Somebody give me my baby, y'all.
Detectives say a 19-year-old in another room was taking a weapon apart when it went off. The bullet traveled through the wall and killed Kennedy. Documents show the gun recovered was untraceable, an unserialized 9mm semi-automatic pistol, a Polymer 80, one of the nation's largest producers of gun kits and parts. Commonly referred to as ghost guns, the weapons are made with kits bought online or using parts purchased without any background checks.
Well, we don't refer to them as ghost guns. That's kind of a street vernacular term that everybody uses on the street. We call them privately made firearms.
Bernard Hansen is a special agent in charge at the Kansas City Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Privately made firearm doesn't have any of the required markings that what firearms you would buy from a licensed dealer. That's required by law.
Hansen believes these privately made firearms, or PMFs, are so prolific because they can be assembled in less than an hour. The ATF used these 3D printers as examples, showing the ease of how quickly the guns can be made.
This example right here, one of our PMF experts assembled this in less than 24 hours.
Even though there are more registered guns than people in America, the actual number is unknown even to the ATF. That's because we found record keeping for ghost gun data is inconsistent across America's law enforcement agencies. We found at least 4 major cities, Atlanta, Cincinnati, St. Louis, and Portland. Data is not tracked or no records exist. The ATF tracks firearm recoveries through a tracing program, but it doesn't mean all ghost gun data makes it there. When a firearm is recovered at a crime scene, the gun is typically processed and run through a firearms program maintained by the ATF.
And they'll enter it into our tracing program to see if they can determine where the gun was originally manufactured, who was the original purchaser. They help give them leads in their investigation to track down with whatever they know.
Between 2016 and 2021, the ATF reported 45,240 of such weapons recovered from crime scenes.
I would say we've seen a 1,000% increase, and I'm being conservative on that, over the last 5 to 8 years.
Of those 45,000 ghost gun recoveries, nearly 700 of them were from homicides or attempted homicides. The sobering problem of ghost guns being used in deadly crimes led to new rules on unserialized weapons by the Biden administration. In 2022, the definition of a firearm changed to add unfinished parts to better track them. As laws catch up with technology, nearly a dozen states have enacted their own bans on ghost guns. For Thomas Belton, no regulations will bring Kennedy back and ease his outrage.
I can't believe that we lost a child.
How do you even digest that?
I can't. You can't.
The Supreme Court is currently weighing a decision on whether regulations are needed on ghost guns and the parts used to make them. A decision is expected sometime this year. Last July, Polymer 80 ceased operations, citing the high costs of defending itself in court. For the I-Team, I'm Chris Nakamoto. Liz, Greg.
All right, Chris, thank you. The Zachary Police Department